This is the Bone Czar, coming to you live from my room, I guess. I decided to change my name to focus on smokers' rights. And because smoking is obviously a very important hobby of mine, and more it seems we live in a draconian society that wants to come down against smoking at every corner. And it's amazing to me how it is one corrupt business conquering over another, because I do not support the tobacco industry, but I support people's right to smoke tobacco, or anything else for that matter. Now mind you, I don't smoke any of those illegal substances myself, but I believe it is everyone's right to do so. And I'll probably do another video about how legalizing marijuana, for example, might not be the best course of action, because legal and decriminalized are two different things. What you should be aiming for is decriminalized marijuana. That way you can smoke it, you can sell it, you can have it, you can, have it in your car. But to legalize it would just turn it into another pharmaceutical industry. Anyway, my point is that there is this article that I'm reading right now that I will link to about how there was going to be a smoking ban and it didn't pass because people are not quite this stupid. They have to make it more subtle than this. Unfortunately, people will be fooled if it's subtle enough, but they wanted to ban smoking pretty much all across the nation unless it's in a gambling establishment. Now think about this for a minute. They're basically telling you you do not have a right to smoke unless you're tucked away in a casino where they know that you'll be spending money. So essentially only the rich are allowed to smoke, or unless you're invited to a rich household. You have to basically be inside a rich institution in order to have the privilege to smoke. That's what people came down against. And they see this as a victory for smokers' rights, but I do not really see this as a victory. This is just common sense. And above all of that, they still are trying. Like I'm reading here about how the original bill was even worse than this, and their arguments were that this would put smoking companies out of business. Your local tobacco shop, or any gas station that sells cigarettes and things, which is true. This would certainly hurt small businesses, and in turn would hurt their employees and things like that. But it's beyond that. This is class war. This is a direct slap to the face of people that are of middle or poorer income, and that unless you own a casino, which you need a lot of money to do, because you need a lot of money to not only run the casino but get the licensing and everything for it, unless you're one of these uber rich people, you do not have a right to smoke in your own house. You do not have a right to smoke on public property where supposedly all rights apply. Because, YouTube wants to ban my videos, or pretty much any site wants to ban anything of mine, because they think that they have a right to, because it's a private institution. But then they want to turn around and say that you do not have rights on public property either. It's not going to work both ways. It shouldn't even work the privatized way. It shouldn't even work where I should be able to say what I want and do what I want on private property as well as public property, because rights are non-negotiable. But for the sake of argument, let's say that you subscribe to that whole idea of you can be a dictator on your private property, which I think you should be able to be shot like a dictator if you truly believe you're a separate entity. But let's, for the sake of argument, say that private industry has the right to discriminate against people and treat people like shit. Well, then you should not make laws that purposely make it impossible for a man to be free, on the street. He should be able to drink on the street. He should be able to smoke on the street. He should be able to do anything he wants on public property. Because if it's in the Constitution as a right, and that's the thing, smoking is not a constitutional right, but there are rights around it. You have the right to not being searched without a warrant. You have the right to freedom of press, freedom to assembly, freedom of speech. Not that you see that in this country, but you do have a right to it as far as the Constitution is concerned. You have the right to a fair trial, which again, people are not seeing. You have to pay for a lawyer, don't you? Apparently you don't have a right to a fair trial. The attorneys get to decide the jury. It isn't really randomized, so they pick the dupes they think they can fool. we have so many problems in this country, and here I am just focusing on one thing. We have the right to smoke. We have the right to put what we want in our bodies and then exhale it. And, I don't see us having free health care, so why the fuck should the government care what we put in our bodies? So, I figured I'd just get that out there. That's, I'll link to it below. And this is not really a victory for smokers. This is just more so people are not as dumb as led to believe. And at that, maybe we just got lucky this time around. Because you know what? You need to go out there and vote. I know that you say voting doesn't matter and that, the politicians are all corrupt. And it's true. They are all corrupt. But individually, state to state, you can make a difference. You need to realize that your state elections matter. Because you elect these crooks. You should at least have a choice in which crooks get in office. You need to elect good representatives. You need to elect good judges. You need to elect good state laws. And then, by example, others will follow. And then other states will do that too. Because I don't believe in confederacy. I don't believe in states' rights. But that's what we have. So you need to vote in your state elections so that other states follow suit. That's the only way you're going to get anything done. And that's all I have to say for this video. See you later.